Hello, and welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby Tyler. I'm your host, a family nurse practitioner, a health and wellness blogger, and a community volunteer. In here, we discuss evidence based health information regarding mind, body, and soul with a holistic emphasis. Thanks for joining me on this journey of health and wellness. Please enjoy the show. Hello, 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 ATH Dallas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our 11th season of Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page. Again, my name is Abby. I'm your Healthy Living MP. For those of you who watch Abby's Daily Dose, welcome. If you're joining me from Facebook, the page also focused on Liberia. And if you're joining me from YouTube, welcome. Please share the show. Please share the show. Please share the show. And that's always my disclaimer. I am a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen or your child's regimen without checking with your own provider first. Okay. So just give me a break here. I'm putting my glasses on again. Just please wearing glasses. Just be checking with your doctor. See an eye doctor at least once a year or as often as they tell you to. This time of the year too, making sure you're checking your child's doctors too. Okay. So let's get to it. Okay, so how are you guys doing? Okay, let's get right into the show. I won't be making long videos anymore. So if you come on and you find me gone in 10, 15 minutes, that's it. All right. But anyways, let's get to it. So 6 health tips for going back to school. So this time of the year, I'm sure most of the kids are already back in school because some people go back to school beginning of August and early August and all that too. And the rest go back after the holiday. So, but whenever you go to school, this still applies. Okay. So again, please share the show. Please share the show and welcome. Thanks for joining me. Sure, you could be doing a lot of things, but you're joining me right now. So, okay. So if you're going back to school, I've seen parents making videos where the little ones go to kindergarten or go into first grade, like they transition to another level and all the tears and all that. So sweet. As parents that go through this too, I used to take off every time, like the first day of school for my kids every year. Every year, I think I did that all the way until like the 12th grade. I did that. So, you know, do that, do whatever you do to keep your child safe and healthy. Okay. So let's get to number one. You can leave your questions and comments below. Please question and comments also because it goes into the algorithm and more people get to see it. Okay. So let's get into it. So number one is get a checkup. Alrighty. So making sure most schools will say you have to get a physical, depending on the school and all that. You have to get a physical from your child's pediatrician, or if you go to like a general practitioner and all, make sure you get the physical. If your child's supposed to be starting school soon, and you're supposed to have that physical form in the office because it takes a while to get the physical form completed, and there'll be a lot of other people doing the same thing. So you may go there. Let's say they're supposed to be going back to school September 2nd or September 3rd, and you took that form and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I mean, we're getting close to the time and how come they haven't done it yet? Because a lot of other people also went there at the same time. So it's best to go there much earlier than that. But right now, you have no choice. Okay. And especially if your child takes different medications or they have some other illnesses that need to be closely monitored, it's important that you take that form as quickly as possible. All right, because most of the schools now will tell you you can't come to school without it, or they'll give you maybe like a week to follow up from there. But check with your child's school, okay? Make sure you have the immunization records and all, especially if you're moving from different places. Let's say during the summertime you guys moved like cross, from another state, from one state to another state, from different school districts. If you move them out of the country and all that, make sure you have the immunization records. Again, like I say, it's a timely manner. So get that from your child's doctor, pediatrician, and all. Update your medical information. If your child developing kind of illnesses during the summer, or anything that changed in their health wise, when you fill in that form, make sure all of that is on there. For all the medications they take, and they tell you if you have to take medications to the school, you have to carry, and they'll tell you to carry in the original container. All right, and it has to have the instructions there from the pharmacy. You can't just put medications in a cup and close it up and say, let's take it to school. They don't want that. They want that coming directly from the pharmacy with the child's name on there, the doctor, the instructions on how you're supposed to take it, what to look out for, and all, because the nurse will be having that at the school. Okay, so don't send any medications with them in the bus. Let's say they're sick and you say, oh, let me give you some medication, let me give you some cough medicine, take that. You don't have to take it to the nurse. Make sure you do not do that. Okay. I think, I don't know if it's an urban myth or not, but one kid took a preparation H, and that's the cream, that's the one you put for your hemorrhoids, people who have like a little growth in their rectum. Okay. So, and that can be painful, but also it's supposed to like, and the cream that you put in that's supposed to kind of soothe the place. So imagine taking that and putting that, and the little kid took you to school and he was in the school bus and he was like sharing it with the other people. And so don't do that. Don't send any medications with your kid. Even if it's something like ibuprofen or, acetaminophen that they have to take because they have a headache here and there, and you don't want to be bothered with taking it to the nurse and taking a whole all that. Just let them go to the nurse and get the medication. Don't send it with them, because the most schools will tell you that do not send any medications with them. Okay. And again, like I said, all your medical conditions, make sure they know about that. And the kids should be aware of their own medical conditions too, because most of the times, like the kids will be telling the nurse, "Okay, this is what my parents do." The nurse will know more about it, but you want your child knowing about your body, their own bodies. The same thing, like I tell you guys, you want to know about your body, and it's your body. So learn about your illnesses. Don't go crazy over everything that's on the internet, though. Let them know a little bit age appropriate about their body, so that way when they go to the nurse and something happens, they'll be able to like work along with the nurse when they call their pediatrician and all that to go from there. Okay. So number two is review safety rules and emergency procedures. Okay. So one thing I want to say is when I see people on social media too, they showing their children, beautiful children, and they have the little plaque and say, "This is, I'm this years old, I'm going to this grade," and all that. And then they had the student, some of them had the teacher's name, and they had the room, and they have their school and all. You remember that your page, even if your page is if and private, sometimes somebody who has a public page may comment on that picture, and it may just show up to a public page. So you don't want to put your child in danger. Now you're free to do whatever you want to do. I would suggest is you have two plaques where you put something there, you make it nicely just for, if you want to make that public to all your friends, or you just put limited amount of stuff there for a family member, and then another one for social media, because you don't want to expose your child to all that. People get mad at you for saying something on Facebook, and sometimes it might come after your family. So you don't want that. Don't put your child in danger, knowing that they know the class your child's going to be in, the school, the different things and all. Now somebody say, "Oh, well, wait a second, I know what district they're in, so I know what school to go into." You don't want to make it easy for them. Okay. So it's just a safety issue. All right. And also, don't let you teach your child stranger danger. Even the person is in your family, it could be the stranger to them and all. You can say, "Okay, yes, my aunt going to go pick them up." If Find a code word, okay, not a word I can easily guess, but find a code word for that child. So when that person goes to pick up the child, first of all, you're gonna have who is is instructed to get your child from the school, anyways. So put that code word on there. If that person doesn't say code word, that person cannot take your child. All right. It may be a loving grandmother, but sometimes in a custody issue and co-parenting issue, that can become a little bit tricky, because that one parent may be doing something that's nefarious, that may want to take that child, and next thing you know, you're sitting there, you're fighting in court, and that person is taking your child out of state and sometimes out of the country, or they could be right in that same place, and you're sitting there and looking forever. Parents have taken their children, and for many years, the other parent hasn't been able to see that child. Okay, so let them have a code word. If that person doesn't have that code word, they cannot pick them up. Okay, and again, you're gonna have everybody listed as responsible for picking up that child, anyways. All right, and don't hesitate to call you. Be like, "By the way, this person's here. And they're there to pick me up. Can I go with them?" Let that child walk away from there. Please tell the school also if you had like ruckus, custody hearing and co-parenting issues that may be a little difficult. Bring that to the school attention too. Okay. Teach your children their addresses, full addresses. Okay, most of the kids now, they know that you can teach them the addresses from the time like 5 or 6 years old. Know their addresses, know their phone number, and because if they don't know how to use a phone yet, or most of the kids know how to use a phone anyway, but when they're 5 or 6 years old, you're not going to give them a cell phone. Some people do. I'm not judging anybody, but teaching the phone number, teaching like the mom and dad phone number. And teaching the addresses and all. You may say, well, why do you need to do that? Because anything could happen, and you need to know where to drop them off. The person at the school, they're not just going to be dropping off everything, but those are important information to know. Know the mom and dad first and last name. Okay, it can just be mommy and daddy. You have to know the full first name, full last name. Know themselves too. If you call them by a nickname at home, they have to know their full first and last name too. Because I've seen places where teachers were commenting, and the kids didn't, they don't know their names when they go to school. So make sure they know their full first name and last name, know their birthdays and everything. Okay. Some of them also know their allergies too, because they can say, "Oh no, I can't have that." I have this allergy. I have a peanut allergy. Of course, you're going to be putting that on a medical record too, but let them be able to say that, because just in case if somebody's not looking at the paper at all times, oh, I have a peanut allergy. Oh, I have this allergy. Or I have that allergy. I can't eat that. I can't go to this place. I can't do these things. All right. And familiarize with the school emergency procedures and all, because we're in a world now where there would be shooting at school, and we're praying this year that doesn't happen, but anything can happen. You know that you send your children to school, they're also aware of it too, so kind of teach them age appropriate, don't scare them into it, but make them aware that things may happen, and there's some people out there who are not nice. Okay, so things may happen and all that, but teach them, okay, when this happens, listen to what the teacher's going to say, listen to whatever they're going to be telling you, go to this places, follow everybody, don't you may be scared, don't go hiding somewhere, because everybody has to be this place and that place and that place to keep you safe. Okay, and you also familiarize yourself, don't keep calling your child has a cell phone when they're telling everybody to turn their cell phone off because of safety reasons. Okay, and they tell you where to meet and all of that. It's a scary thing being a parent with young children nowadays, even college students. But this is the world we live in, and we have to adapt to it and to make each other safe and to make each other sane. All right. Number three is avoid backpack overload. All right, I put that backpack. Most of the time, it's like you see the kids, and when I was in school, you wanted to be cool. You have your backpack and you put that on your shoulder, but that's not safe anymore. Okay, I'd love to see these medical students now, and also the interns and all. Like they have their backpack, but it's like on their shoulders, both shoulders. So make sure they have the backpack that's got wide shoulders and it's padded on both sides. You don't want it leaning to one side, because that can cause shoulder problems and also cause back problems in the future too. So make sure, and don't have them bring everything from school. Like most of them have the Chromebooks now, where they don't have to bring everything home anymore. So don't bring every book home for every subject and all that. Don't bring everything home. The teachers know now that you can just get 10,000 homework and I have to bring everything home. It's not safe. All right. When they're moving, I see the little kids, they have their backpack and they're almost like heavier than they are. No, just say, okay, I'm going to talk to your teacher and see how we can manage that. You're not bring everything home. That's going to cause back problems and neck problems in the future. All right. So I don't see any questions here. And if you're just joining, we're talking about six health tips for back to school. Okay. And bullying. All right. We live in a world again where things are not just peachy and rosy, where there will be people, some kids come from homes that are not safe, that sometimes a bully, they say usually is projecting. And then people also say hurt people help hurt people. Well, it doesn't always have to be like that. You don't always have to hurt other people simply because you're hurt. But when they're young like that, they don't know how to manage their emotions. They may come across and they see somebody else and want to take advantage of that person and project that anger and everything towards that person. Teach your child to stand up for themselves. Also, teach your child to know when to walk away. Because again, you're going back to where, especially when it gets to higher grades, where they could be bringing weapons to school, or they could be bringing other things to school. Know when to walk away, and know when to how to report it to the teacher, report it to the guidance counselor, to the principal, in order to report it to you. You have to be willing to be quiet when they're talking to you and all that. Don't say, "Oh my God, why do you just go? Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" And going to the school, and don't just jump up and do that. Okay, listen to them and let them tell you, and you guys can devise strategies on how to get about that. Now we're also in the social and political structure that we're in right now. Everything is so uncertain, and everybody is on edge. Please teach your kids to be kind. Please teach your kids to be kind, okay? Because there are a lot of people out there now who's like so frightened. I don't know what today or tomorrow may be, and all that with them or their parents or whatever. Please teach your kids to be kind, okay? And for the kids who are sitting there worrying about things like that, don't get involved in any kind of conversations. I know it's going to be hard where you like, oh no, I want to be able to defend myself. Try not to get in those conversations. Just learn how to walk away. Breathe. Teach them different methods to walk away. Okay, because if you get into something and you get suspended, that's another problem right there. So walk away, and again, teach your kids to be kind, regardless of whatever is going on. Just teach your kids to be kind. It won't kill anybody to be kind. You don't have to really love somebody or be with them or want to be, oh my, that's my best friend, I want this person on my team. Just be kind to the person, because you don't know what people are going through. All right, and that goes through with teachers and their staff members and other people who work in the school as well. Just be kind, and in this world also that we're all in, just be kind. Just be kind, because you never know what somebody's going through. Okay. And Number five is set reasonable schedules. All right. Now we're also in a world where it's like your kids want to be in this sport, your kids want to be in that sport, and they're running from one sport to the next sport, and you're taking this shot, especially if you have one or more kids, and they're in basketball, they're in baseball, they're in this, they're in cheerleading it, and they want to be in everything, and you want your kids to enjoy being a child, enjoy their childhood, go through all of that drama and this and that. It's okay, I got to go this, and it becomes a little bit overwhelming at times. There are times you have to tell your child, okay, let's just pick one or two this year and go with it. Pick the one that you want the most and let's go with it. Because some of these games, some of these sports, you have to go away over the weekend. You have to go away during the week. You have to buy so many expensive stuff, and they can be expensive for a parent who have, even with one child, it can be very expensive too. So it's important that you say, okay, let's start slow. And maybe we can do something at the YMCA. Maybe we can do something in locally. Let's start there first. Let's see what the school can do, and let's see the resources. Ask for resources at the school, because again, but it's also their parents who want to sit down there and relive their childhood through their children, and they put so much pressure on their children. Oh, you got to do this, or you got to do that. Oh, there may be scouts at the game, and you never know. You could be the next football star. You could be the next basketball. You could be the next ballerina. You could be the next thing. And then the child's under so much pressure to do that. Now, understand, some kids who want to do that. So someday there's a way out of poverty too. Get into professional sports. That's another way out of poverty. So, but you don't want so much pressure on them like that. Okay, let them enjoy it. If they're really good at it, support them. If they don't want to do it, okay, let's find something else. Don't be so disappointed and feel like they didn't make them feel like they have to do it. Okay, because that can have a lot of stuff on their mental health, and it's important that you protect their mental health. It's so important. You can sit there and say, from the culture we are, where your mental health is not that important when you're very young, or you have food on the table, you have roof over your head, clothes on your back. What do you have to be depressed about? Well, a whole lot. Okay, so again, watch your kids. So that puts us to our last one, which is maintain effective communication. Okay, so when your kids come home, it's like, of course, now we're all tired too at the same time. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah. So ask open-ended questions too, especially when you see them kind of pulling back. How was school today? It would just say good. Okay. Oh, tell me about what went on in school today. So ask open-ended questions where we give them a way to kind of ask, or ask kind of a question where they would have to have like a part two to it, and just kind of, and when they come in, I think somebody said when your kids come in, when you see your kids first, the first thing they should see on your face is a smile. Now I know that's also impossible sometimes when you're mad, when you're tired, when you're this and all. But smile first. Keep the conference, keep the communication door open there, because again, we're going back to the so many things that these kids have to deal with. When you and I were in school, and I'm talking about way back, even if it's like maybe 10 years ago, but the internet has been around for so long. So that reminds me. I remember one time when I think the internet was like maybe 15 years old at the time, or 10, and my son said, "Mom, do you know you're older than the internet?" Anyways, but it's important that you do that. He say just talk to them and just say what's going on. And again, coming depending on your culture, you may not open you up like that. You may not say something, or oh yeah, I don't feel like talking. I mean, they may not want to talk, especially when they're teenagers too, and they may not want to talk. And then sometimes we put this on boys too. Oh, boys don't like to talk. My son went away to Washington for their trip. He came back and he finished up telling me the entire trip in 2 minutes. I'm like, my daughter would have been talking forever. So again, your children, the one who was like, and the ones who are introvert, try to put them out there so they get more social. Don't force them and all that. Those who are extroverts, you can put them out there. Sometimes you might want to tell them to kind of calm down a little bit. You don't have to go to everything. You don't have to be on stage all the entire time. So just kind of have a conversation. Just how was school today? What class do you like best? Did you make any friends? Anybody's bothering you? Just little. Don't make it seem like it's so regimented that they're like, oh my god, she's gonna be asking me questions and things like that. Just different questions here and there. Okay, and it's hard sometimes to want to do that when you're tired from work and you're tired from everything else, but just make it a habit. Start making it a habit, especially for kids who are younger as they get older, because I'm sure I'm talking to people who have younger children too. And as they get older too, sometimes in the weekend you might say, oh, let's just go out to go eat somewhere. Let's go sit down to the park, or let's do something. Let's go sit to the mall. And then you sit in there, you're talking and everything, and then make sure you're listening. You're not just talking, you're not just listening to talk, you're listening to. Okay, and it just tell you something that that may not sound good, and it's something like really really mad, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Remember, conflict management, we all have to learn that too. Okay, and give them your full attention when they're talking. Don't be on the phone, don't be texting, don't be doing everything. Give them your full attention. Let them give you the full attention too, because sometimes they may be doing the same thing. Okay. And if you have daughters, if you both kids and boy and girl, anywhere from the age 8 to 9 and to like 12, this is time to start having a talk. Okay, talking about your development, your body development, because that's when they start going into puberty. Boys start going into it at age 9, girls start going into it like around age 8 to 9. Okay, so start having a talk. I did do 2 shows on how to talk to your son about the change, and how to talk to your daughter about the change. I'm going to put that in the comment section. Okay, so if you don't feel comfortable about it, most schools also talk about it when they're in like fourth grade, third, fourth grades. So sometimes it's separated girls and the boys. Sometimes it's also good to like talk to your boys about what's going on with the girls too, because that's how boys know what's going on and girls know what's going on with boys. And also then they know about each other's bodies and know how to protect themselves as they get older too. Okay, but start with just talking to your daughter about her body. This is what you're going to be doing during the summertime. Start teaching them how to carry a little pocketbook, so when they go through, when they get to where they start going to puberty and they need, sanitary napkins and all those different things. They already know how to use it or put it in their bag. Okay, because that's when that change, when it between third, fourth grade, fifth grade, and they go through the change, and it can be a lot on a young child, especially now where some schools where you're not allowed to carry a backpack, where they can't see through and all, or you can't go to certain places with a backpack. So it's important that they start learning how to take care of themselves, hygiene and all that. With boys do hygiene. Okay, now you get into an age where you have to start wearing deodorant, and you got to start taking the shower, and you got to start doing that. So let them practice that over the summertime and get used to it. All right, because some of them would be in sports and they go into changes, and some girls, and they feel a little different to you, or even boys, like, okay, I'm not developing as fast as my friend. Whoa, wait a second, we're in the fourth grade last year. She didn't look like she got filled up like that. We come back from school from summer and she filled out, and I'm not there yet. Everybody body, okay, develops differently. Even if they have siblings that develop faster, they may not develop as fast as their siblings. So have that conversation. Also, your pediatrician have pamphlets too. When you go to the office, you don't necessarily have to go for an appointment. You can ask, do you have anything on, talking about puberty and everything like that? So give it to them, and they can sit there and talk about it. Okay, they're going to learn about it regardless, whether it's in school or they learn it on social media, or like internet, and you don't want to learn it the wrong way. Not telling them, we're not talking, saying having any kind of conversation about sex. That can come later. You tell them about their bodies, because they have to know about their bodies. They're not going to sit there and their body's changing and you don't tell them anything about it, because they have to be able to take care of themselves. All right, so it's important that you bring that up. And if you're a father and you have all girls, you don't feel comfortable, you can talk to your female relative who can talk to them. Again, they also have it at schools, the guidance counselors, the pediatrician, and all. Mothers, if you don't want to talk to your sons about it, again, you can talk to that. I know most people don't talk to their sons about it. It's just, okay, well, girls change, their change is so much more drastic, but boys also go through that too. It's a little different, but still talk to them about it. Between age 8 and 9, start bringing it up and all that, because when it hits around between 10, 11, and 12, that's when it goes right into, full gear, and then they're going to full adult mode. Okay, so talk to them about it. It can be a little embarrassing if you're not used to talking to your child about things like that, but start giving a little bit of hints there, and then before you move on from there. Okay, so basically that's the show for welcome, 6 tips of going back to school. So if you missed it, we started out with get a checkup, review safety rules and emergency procedures. You can go back and watch it and stop it and watch more. Avoiding backpack overload, bullying, setting reasonable schedules, and maintaining effective conversation. And if you have any questions, you can leave it below. You can always ask me later on. And if you join me, thanks for joining me. If you're joining me now, I say thank you. If you're joining and watching this later, I say thank you. Please, please, this is our 11th year. I'm asking you guys, so please share the show. Please share the show. Okay, it may not pertain to, I don't have, you say I don't have young children, so I don't have to worry about it. But when you share the show, it goes into the algorithm and more people get to see it. Okay, so let me just go back here. So, if you love me, please share the show. If you don't love me, share the show. All right. But thank you all so much for coming back to our 11th season. And I'm on here Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I do Abby's Daily Dose of shorter videos during the week. So if you're focused on Liberia on YouTube, I put the videos up here, just little 90-second videos, maybe once or twice a week. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.